is Janice Cobb of Save My Pet ID Tag. Engraved with your pet's info, they allow emergency personnel to start care for your pets if you're sick or injured. Head over to SaveMyPetIDTag.com and explore products. They ensure peace of mind for you and for your four-legged family.
Welcome to the age of adventure cats. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, outgoing cats. They're hitting hiking trails. They're boarding planes. They're mingling with fans at pet events all over the globe. Now, you're in for a treat because you're about to meet a rising star among adventure cats. He's got his human with him. So please give pause and applause to Caitlin Fitzpatrick and her Maine Coon cat named Peek. Welcome, you both. So I'm sure that Peek is just purring with delight to be on our award-winning Four-Legged Life show, correct?
Yes, he is. He's very excited to be.
And he's just hanging out in a nice little tote bag, and he's just chill. Tell people a little bit about Peek, because he ain't no small kitty.
For those of you that know cats, he's a Maine Coon, and they're one of the largest domestic breeds of cats that you can get. Now, he is a European Maine Coon, and they tend to be a little bit larger. And so he's currently only about 20 pounds right now, and
wait a minute,
we're expecting him to be about 35.
Okay, he was only 20 pounds. My cat Casey, who I think's a big orange tabby, is like 12 or 13 pounds. He's only 20 pounds because how old is Peek?
So he's 2, and they don't stop growing until they're about 5, depending on the color and how fast they grow. But we're expecting him to be about 35 pounds, as his mom was 32, and the males are generally larger.
So you will hear him walking.
You definitely hear when he jumps down off of a table or a dresser.
The house starts to do a little shaking.
Yeah.
Well, what
My eyes are go on adventures.
Now, I know there are certain breed characteristics, but there's always exceptions and personality and all that. But it's been my understanding that Maine Coons, they're kind of like the gentle giant. Tell us a little bit about his personality.
Yes, they are known as the gentle giant. They're great with kids. They're super relaxed. A lot of people ask what we do to make him so calm, and honestly, it's just his personality. He's very go with the flow, and he's gentle too. He's never like broken skin or bit or scratched anyone. He's even had kids drag him around the house, and he's just, okay, this is what we're doing for today.
And he's beautiful. I know there's different markings, but he's got bigger ears than me. And what color are his eyes?
He has like a goldenish green eye color, which is common in Maine Coon tabby.
All right. So is this your first Maine Coon cat you've ever had, Caitlin?
He is, yes.
What made you say, I want a big boy?
Well, my husband always wanted a Maine Coon because it was the closest thing that he could get to having his own lion in the house. And so we actually have another cat named Summit who was very lonely. He was playing with his own shadow. And so we were like, okay, maybe it's time to get him a friend. And we always wanted the Maine Coon. So that's kind of how we went in that direction.
So you've mentioned Summit. What about your husband so he can be happy? What's his name?
My husband is Martin.
Okay. Martin's very happy now. He's heard his name from zillions of people who tune into our Four-Legged Life show. So tell us a little bit about, you call him Peek the Adventure Cat, and he's kind of a brand now, right? So tell us a little bit about what is an adventure cat and a little bit about his brand.
Yeah, so adventure cats come in a whole variety of different elements. Some adventure cats are on paddleboards, some are skiing, some are on boats. Peek is the type of adventure cat that is going on hikes and bike rides and climbing rocks, and he loves sledding. Those are his favorite things to do.
Sledding?
Yeah.
So I know you when I spoke to you before, there's 2 places you and Martin and Summit and Peek live. What are the 2 states?
We live seasonally between Florida and Maine for work. So we travel 6 months in between each state.
And so sledding in Maine and hiking on or walking on the beach in Florida? Is that the Peak choices?
Yes, yeah, he loves walking on the beach in Florida while we're here, and then when we're in Maine, he has a lot of hikes in Acadia National Park.
So what is it like? Let's go to South Florida for 200, please, Caitlin. So you're on what beach in South Florida, and how is he geared up so he's not running away and not trying to flirt with the sunbathers?
So first of all, we keep him in a very secure harness. He likes the vest style harness, and he's always on a leash. We don't ever let him roam without having him connected. And the beach that we tend to go to is in Ocean Ridge.
And that's in Palm Beach County?
Yes.
Okay. So what color is his vest that he wears?
He has a variety of different ones. Currently, he's wearing a tan.
Styling. I'm not seeing that. So what kind does he
This
have?
one, which is kind of like the 90s themed for
So it's all different colors, blues and pinks. Okay.
Yeah, and then in the summer when it's really hot or when it gets close to like the summer, he has his cooling vest, which helps keep him nice and cool because he is a long-haired cat, so he tends to get overheated in the heat of South Florida.
Will he actually put his paw in the ocean?
He likes to play with water. He has like in his water bowl, but we're still easing him into getting in the ocean.
Do you think he could ever be a paddle boater or a surfboard kitty cat?
I definitely think so. It just I think we're more likely to have him do it in Maine than in Florida because for whatever reason, there's always really big waves at the beach that we go to. So we've never really gotten the opportunity.
All right. So we're going to switch gears, states and temperatures. In Maine, it can get cold and you could get a little snow. You said he likes sledding. How did you even get him to say, hey, guess what, Pete? Martin and I are going to see how well you do on a sled. Bye. No, I'm sure you did steps up to it, but tell us about his sledding prowess.
So we actually noticed that he loves, as most cats, playing in boxes around the house. And I started playing with him one day and me asking me to do it more. We attached a rope to the box and I started just pulling him around and he begged me to do it. He kept sitting in the box, meowing, asking me to do it more. So then when we got to Maine and we had a big snowstorm, we were like, oh, this is the perfect opportunity to see if he likes sledding. And he really enjoyed it.
He doesn't mind the snow, huh?
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, he is a Maine Coon cat. I mean, come on, right? So I like what you did, and that's a tip for others. You didn't just put him out in the snow and say, let's go sledding, right? You watched what he liked. So give us a few tips. We've got about a minute before our break. You did something nice. You paid attention to what his preferences are.
Yes. And when training an adventure cat, that's something that you should always keep in mind. You shouldn't force your cat to do something that they don't like to do. So part of our training process and getting him harness trained was paying attention to what he liked to do, the kinds of activities he likes to do, and just keeping him safe and enjoying each experience instead of having a negative outlook on that experience.
I like that. I like that. We're speaking with Caitlin Fitzpatrick, and she's got her cool adventure cat, Peak, a 20-pound and growing Maine Coon who splits his time in Florida and in Maine. We're going to learn more after we take this break. So you all know the drill. Sit, purr. We'll be right back.
Hey, have you heard? Four-Legged Life has a new digital newsletter. Here, let me show you how you get yourself subscribed. So you just type in Four-Legged Life, and that'll take you to the website. There we go. And this magic thing just appears, and you type in your email address. I'll use, let's see, how about coolestdogever@gmail.com. That's me. And then you just click on this thing here. There you go. It's the new digital newsletter from Four-Legged Life. Get subscribed today.
I'm having a great time. I'm speaking with Caitlin Fitzpatrick, and with her is this amazing adventure cat. Yes, the word is adventure, and he is a big boy. He is a young 2-year-old, beautiful Maine Coon by the name of Peak. And I wanted to ask you, I think last I saw on Instagram, Peak has about 22,000 and counting followers. And can you tell people how to follow Peak?
Yes. So we have quite the following on Instagram. And so you can find us at A Cat named Peak on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all the social media platforms.
You kept it simple. Thank you. So Threads, everything, right? All right.
Yeah.
So what the heck? Because tell people what you're kind of merging into a new career. You're kind of Peak's social media manager and beyond. Can you tell people what you were doing prior to Peak, showing you he loves being an adventure cat?
Yeah, so prior to working with Peak and his social media, I worked in hospitality. So I was a manager at various hotels.
You sound excited.
It was very exciting, but working in the hospitality world is very exhausting. And so I'm happy to not be there anymore.
So Peak isn't the only adventure cat. I understand there's getting to be a group of you, and hopefully you all play nice in the litter box. I'm just teasing. But you and I met at the CFA Cat Fancier Association's big expo in Cleveland, Ohio in late 2024. You were on a panel. Can you tell people what you were doing there with Peak?
Yeah, so at that event, we actually had a meet and greet booth. So people were able to come and meet Peak and ask us questions. And we spoke on a few panels about travel cat safety and how to get them harness trained and things to look out for when you're harnessed and what steps that we took to get him to where he is today.
Did he yawn a lot?
No, but he was very relaxed and he just hung out in his backpack most of the day.
Yes. So let's talk, because you're talking to Arden Moore, America's pet health and safety coach. All big on teaching people safety, pet first aid, CPR with my safety cat, Casey, and my safety dog, Kona. So share with our folks how to make the adventure exciting, but also pay attention to safety. What are a few tips you can share with us if we want to take our cat out and about?
Yeah, so you just start slow when you're adventure training, but once you're at the point where you can take your cat out on trail, something that we always carry with us is a first aid kit that has any essentials, like if Peak were to hurt himself or if I hurt myself. Like one year I sprained my ankle, so it was really nice to have that first aid kit. And then we always make sure we have enough water and food in case something were to happen and we got lost. And then always keep a good handle on your leash when you're hiking with your cat, because you just don't know if something is going to spook them or if you're going to fall. So you don't want them to get scared.
How long of a leash do you use?
It depends on the hikes that we're doing. If we're hiking at our normal spot in Acadia, I have a leash that wraps around my waist so that Pete can freely walk while I climb the rocks. And then I also have a retractable leash that we use on the beach because he likes to run and chase sticks and things like that.
Okay. And it's all attached to his harness, not his collar. And tell us why.
Yes. We prefer to use a harness just because if it's something around their neck, they could easily choke if they were to like get excited and chase a squirrel or something that could really damage their throat. And that's just not a good thing that you want to do. And the harness is more secure too. It's less for them to break out of. It's just overall a much better way to train your cat is in a harness.
What about identification? Because let's say I would hope that nothing happened. He slipped out of a harness. What do you take to make sure you can find him if he slipped out?
So he is microchipped. So if anyone did find him and they got that scan, they would reach out to us to get in touch with him and reconnected. He also wears a name tag, but it's a QR code. It's that bite tag. And so if someone were to scan it, it automatically notifies all his records and anything that they may need to know in case he's hurt, which is really important. And then there's also GPS trackers that you can get to.
So where would the GPS tracker be for a cat? And it can't be so big that it weighs them down. Where would be a good spot?
Yeah, so Travel Cat, who makes this harness here, they have a harness that you can put your GPS tracker here by Tractive, which is a really good
right
brand.
On the harness.
There's also Fi Collar, which is a GPS tracker that's built into the collar the part that you wouldn't attach the leash to. And then you can also attach the Tractive GPS to that collar too. There's an attachment
that gives me a little peace
you
of
don't
mind.
have the Travel Cat harness.
Now, I know he doesn't look like a runner. He's not scared. But is there any tip you can give somebody if a cat kind of got loose on a trail, how to calmly be able to bring them back to you. So I like that you have the tracking so you know where they are. But any safety tips on approaching a cat that may be like, oh, I'm loose?
Well, I think the most important thing, and for those of you that train cats or are planning on adventure cat training, the most important thing is to stay calm around a cat because they can sense your energy. So if you are nervous and you're freaking out, you're not going to be able to get that cat because they're not going to want to be near you. They're going to want to come to a quiet, calm environment.
Mm-hmm. And is there a group you can recommend? Or, I mean, how do people get together with other adventure cat people?
Honestly, what we have found the best way is social media. That's how we've met a lot of our adventure cat friends. And that's how we share different tips and tricks and ideas or experiences that we've had. Like we have a friend that lives in Canada. So her experiences are going to be much different than what we have in Florida. But if we were to ever travel to a snowy area, she would be who I would reach out to get any tips to keep Peak warm and safe.
Okay. And what's a tip you can share that, hey, kitty cat, adventure or not, is getting tired and wants a cat nap? What are some signals you look for to say, let's call this a good adventure day. Let's head home.
Absolutely. If your cat is just laying down and chilling, or if it's panting, or if it just looks tired in general, or it's moody and not having a good time, those are all signs that it's time to end the adventure, possibly sooner than you expected, which is why we always carry a travel backpack with us. It's a backpack carrier. So in case we're on the top of a mountain and Peak's tired and he can't hike anymore, I can safely put him in that backpack and I can get him to a safe area where he can rest.
So you mentioned a cat backpack. What's the difference? How is it suited for a feline?
It is a backpack that is well ventilated on all sides. A lot of people know them as the bubble backpacks, which we don't really like in South Florida because they can tend to get hot with that plexiglass globe. But basically, it's a pet carrier that's well ventilated, has padding on the back for the person that's carrying it. And it also has straps that can secure it to your waist and to your chest so that if you were to fall, it doesn't fall off of you.
So does he talk much when he's on an adventure? Does he cackle, chirp, meow, or is he a kind of a silent dude?
At home, he's very, very vocal. He definitely tells you when he wants to play or if he's hungry or if he's just talking. But on trail, he's pretty quiet. He only will chirp if he sees like a squirrel or a bird that he's enjoying watching on trail.
Okay, that sounds good. Is there something that might surprise people? I mean, we've got just what makes a good adventure cat? What qualities, personalities would you say if somebody's got a kitten, a cat, rescued a cat, what qualities, not what they look like, but their personalities?
Yes, definitely. And that's a big part of training adventure cats. You want to make sure that they're curious and they're confident. A cat that has a high energy level. Now, Peak doesn't look like he has high energy right now, but if I don't take him out every single day, he definitely gets on our nerves. And then another great quality to look for is trainability. If you're able to train your cat to do tricks, you're most likely going to be able to train them to hike on a trail or go out on a paddleboard with you.
All right. And again, how can people follow you and Peak, the adventure cat?
Yes, everyone can follow us at A Cat Named Peak on all the social media platforms. It's really easy to remember. His name is Peak and he's a cat. So
that keeps it simple. Hey, everybody, I've had a great time. I've been speaking with Caitlin Fitzpatrick and enjoying the adventures of her with her Maine Coon cat, Peak. Please follow them.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life. Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content.